Hi, Tim Halloran. Still working on power on my CoCo 2. I'll link the video below where I demonstrated using USB power to power most of it, and there was some interest. CoCo Talk even talked about it. There were several questions because I don't think anyone had actually watched the video. The hookup did not work with the whole computer. 5 volts powered like the CoCo SDC, the CPU, but pretty much all of the peripheral ports except for the joystick didn't work. So I've investigated that more in the schematic and have figured out how to, this video talks about how to run the CoCo 2 working entirely, including the bit banger and the cassette port on DC power rather than AC power. This is going towards a way to run the whole system on USB power, but it's kind of an incremental step. So I wanted to show some progress on that. So jumping right in, here's the computer running off a bench power supply. It's not plugged in. There's the CoCo VGA. There's the tuner output, just to a different screen. So both the tuner and the CoCo VGA are working fine. I'm going to load the drive wire. I think a good test is using drive wire because it needs the cassette and the bit banger to work. So it's loading the cassette just fine. My motivation for doing this is to reduce kind of the heat inside the CoCo 2 when it's running. However, this is sort of a step backwards. The bench power supply is gigantic, heavy, and you can hear the fans running in the background, so it is probably not a practical long-term solution. However, it does show that the whole computer can run on just DC power. You can see we're just a little under 1 amp and running at around 9 volts. So that's positive 9 and negative 9 are going into the computer, and it seems to be working fine. Okay, the cassette finished. I kind of tried to catch. The cassette definitely uses a lot of current. I was trying to show that the amps had gone down a bit. So let's use drive wire. We're going to load the Clowns demo again. Let's see that works. And our tuner output's still fine. We're seeing some serial activity. There's the bench power supply and my jury-rigged hookup. Alright, so that loaded pretty quick. And we'll fire it up. Outputting on both of them. Alright, how did I do this? Here's the schematic of the bridge rectifier in the power system. The squiggles at the top and the bottom of the diamond are where the AC current comes in. The interesting points in where we've added DC power are on the left and the right. You can see the negative and the positive. If we measure the negative side with a voltmeter with the real power supply, I got negative 12.8 volts. If we switch over to the right-hand side of the bridge rectifier on the cathodes of CR3 and CR4, we see 11.4 positive volts. Here's a picture of the hookup in the actual CoCo 2. The green connection way over to the left is hooked to ground, white to negative, and yellow to positive. It's a little bit messy because the composite mod is still in here. I ended up taking that out. The first reason was I don't use it much with the CoCo VGA. The second reason is that the composite mod uses AC power and just won't work in this setup. And the fan noise should convince you this isn't very practical for real use in CoCo. You can see current is lower without the cassette in use. Here's Clowns in the Balloons again, just to show the joystick working in this setup. My joystick doesn't work very well at all. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I just plug it in, but it seems real herky-jerky. Whoop, got the clown. Got the clown. Try to move back over. Nope. Dead clown. All right, that's it. This is entirely not practical, but an interesting experiment. My hope is to actually use this information about what amps and volts are needed to work on a more practical USB based solution. Thanks.